Hello and welcome to the Good 5 Cent Cigar Newscast. I'm Lauren Drapo. Thank you so much for joining us today. This week, we discuss an arrest and other crimes that took place on campus, talk about a recent $65 million gift to URI, take you to a campus cyber festival, highlight plans to renovate the Kingston Railroad Station, and as always, Zachary Petrick will have all things Rhody athletics covered in this week's Rhody Sports Corner. On Tuesday, November 12th, police arrested a 19-year-old man on a warrant issued by the Narragansett Police Department for shoplifting back on Halloween. The man was arrested at Hopkins Hall. The next day, also at Hopkins Hall, police were called to investigate a stolen scooter. This investigation was then referred to student conduct and has not resulted in any further action on behalf of URI police. Next up, the university announced on Friday that it had received a gift of $65 million, the largest in university history. This was an estate gift from a 1954 URI alum who planned with her husband to put the university into their will. The money will serve as a merit scholarship, awarding up to $200,000 a year to students in STEM for 4 years. Also on campus this week, Morgan Judd took us to the Cyber Festival, an event that offered a student entrepreneur showcase, performances from student musicians of different cultural heritages, and a gaming tournament.
I'm here reporting virtually from the Cyber Festival, International Cultural Exchange, hosted by the University of Rhode Island's Library Innovative Labs and Germany's Technical University of Braunschweig's Media Lab. The Good 5 Cent Cigar covered day one of the Cyber Festival on November 20th. Students joined the event through a virtual platform where they created their own avatar. This day featured a student entrepreneur showcase, international idol, and the highly anticipated Super Mario Kart tournament, with the goal of bringing students together through collaboration, cultural exchange, and skill development, said Brian Smith, URI's Launch Lab coordinator.
We wanted to give our students here at URI the chance to make connections with the students in Germany. It's sort of like an in-between way of you don't have to necessarily go be an exchange student or spend a whole year abroad. You can sort of get a taste for the community and the people and the culture online. So that was really, part of why we wanted to give our students this opportunity, and vice versa. When we actually, in the spring, were coming up with concepts, we had Zooms with his class, his spring class, and our students in the spring. And all of these events actually came from suggestions by students in those classes. So all of these things were things that the students in Germany wanted to see from us and vice versa. As this is the first time we're running it, we kind of run into some technical snags along the way, getting everyone in the same room, getting everyone in the same tournament. So it's a learning process. And I think we're going to host another one soon enough.
I'm Morgan Judd with the Good 5 Cent Cigar. Back to you.
Thanks, Morgan. On November 14th, new developments from the Rhode Island Public Transit Authority to renovate the Kingston Railroad Station were announced. RIPTA plans to nearly double the amount of available parking spots and create mobility hubs that include shelters and restrooms. New bike facilities and spots for electric scooters are included in their plan as well. This new station hub will offer solar lighting, benches, and waste and recycling bins. The public has the opportunity to fill out a feedback survey on the RIPTA website by November 30th. Now, let's take a look at what's going on around campus this week. On Thursday, from 4 to 6 p.m., Health Services will be offering free rapid HIV and HCV testing in the lower level of the Health Services building. The testing is confidential and there is no appointment required. On Friday, the Musicians Guild will host its 5th annual Rock and Swap competition. The event is free for all participants and will start at 5 p.m. in Atrium 1 of the Union. And be sure to make your way down to the Ryan Center this weekend for a packed slate of Rhody basketball. First, the women take on in-state rival Brown on Saturday at 1. Then, on Sunday, the men will look to continue their hot start to the season in the matchup with the College of Charleston at noon. On that note, I'll kick it over to Zach Petrick with this week's Rhody Sports Corner.
Thanks, Lauren. Hello and welcome back to the Rhody Sports Corner. I'm Zachary Petrick. Following their loss to Delaware, football took on Albany in the team's final regular season home game of the season. Gerard Villemanet has more from Meade.
The University of Rhode Island Rams capped off a 20-17 win over the Albany Great Danes on Saturday night, as the game got very close down to the wire. Check out the action. The University at Albany Great Danes started off senior day at Meade Stadium on Saturday by dominating the University of Rhode Island Rams in the first half of the game by first settling for a field goal and then scoring 2 touchdowns. Rhode Island tried scoring points before the half by attempting a 49-yard field goal, but the kick was blocked. At halftime, the score was 17-0 UAlbany. However, the Rams began turning things around when Rhode Island's defense and special teams were able to stop the Great Danes from scoring any more points in the second half and disrupted any momentum they had in the first half, while having fifth-year running back Malik Grant score 3 rushing touchdowns. Here are some of Grant's and Rams head coach Jim Fleming's thoughts on the game.
I think mentally, it just showed us, like, this is who we are. Like, we gonna run that ball. The offensive line, like, offense doesn't run unless those 5 guys up front are pushing the defensive line off the ball. And that's what I told them in the locker room, because I believe in those guys. They've been carrying me all season. They're the reason why I'm having the season that I'm having, you know? So without those guys, like, nothing runs. So when we pop that run, we really showed, like, bruh, this is what we do. We gonna run that ball. Like, that's our identity. And those guys up front, they did what they had to do in that second half, and, you know, we came out victorious.
And, but, you know, we came out and Malik pops that big run. You know, we make stops on defense. I mean, we did what we needed to do, and we won the football game. So,
reporting from the Good 5 Cent Cigar from Meade Stadium, I'm Gerard Villeneuve, and back to the studio.
Now let's take a look at some of our other scores around campus. Men's basketball faced off against Lafayette on Wednesday. Women's basketball fell to St. John's 60-45 on Sunday before traveling to Massachusetts to take on UMass Lowell. Volleyball concluded their season with 2 3-1 losses to Davidson over the weekend. The men's and women's cross-country teams went north to New Hampshire to compete in the NCAA Regional Championship. That's all for this week's edition of the Rhody Sports Corner. To stay updated with all things URI athletics, follow us at cigar_sports. Back to you, Lauren.
Thanks, Zach. That's all we have for you this week. Thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to follow us here and on Instagram at Rhody Cigar, and pick up our newspaper anywhere on campus to stay up to date with all of your Rhody news. Until next week, I'm your host, Lauren Drapo. This is the Good 5 Cent Cigar newscast, and as always, have a great week, Rhody.